The first thing you need to understand about being a truly attractive man is that it's not about your looks. It's not about the shape of your jawline, the number of abs you have, or whether you could pass for a movie star. Those things might catch a woman's attention, but they don't hold it. What truly makes a man highly attractive is the energy he carries. The way he walks into a room, the way he speaks without rushing, the way his eyes don't dart around nervously searching for approval. A highly attractive man doesn't try to fit in, he makes the environment fit him. People feel it without being able to explain it. That subtle shift when you enter, like the air got heavier, but in a way that makes everyone pay attention. And if you have this, you already know. Attraction is less about what they see and more about what they feel when they're in your presence. Sign 1. You're selective with your attention. One of the rarest traits in modern men is the ability to withhold attention. Not because you're shy, not because you're insecure, but because you understand its value. A man who throws his attention around recklessly is like a street vendor handing out gold for free. Nobody values it because everybody can get it. But a man who gives his attention sparingly, deliberately, and only when it's deserved instantly stands out. Women notice this more than you think. In fact, sometimes the most powerful attraction you create is when you don't respond to her right away, when you don't compliment her just because she looks good, when you don't get hooked by every flirty comment she throws your way. You're not cold, you're discerning. And that makes every ounce of attention you do give her feel like a prize she's lucky to have earned. The reason selective attention is so attractive is because it communicates abundance without saying a word. If you're not falling over yourself to talk to every woman, if you can let conversations end without desperately trying to keep them alive, it signals that you're not operating from scarcity. You're not desperate. You're not afraid of missing your one shot because you know that you have options, and more importantly, you know that you are the prize. This mindset is magnetic because most men do the opposite. They smother a woman with interest. They try to win her over. They play the approval game. And by doing that, they blend into the background of her life, along with every other man who made her feel like the sun revolved around her. But when you stand out by not chasing, by not overinvesting, by not making her your center of gravity, you become the gravitational pull she can't stop orbiting. Sign 2. You're unshakable under pressure. Women pay more attention to your reaction under stress than they do to your looks or even your charm. If a problem arises and you crumble, lash out, or panic, you've just signaled that your frame is fragile. But if you remain calm, deliberate, and solution-focused, you've just proven something rare, that you're a man who can be trusted to handle life. This doesn't mean you have to be emotionless. It means you don't let emotions run the show. If she tries to provoke you, test you, or throw emotional chaos your way, and you don't take the bait, it triggers a very specific response in her mind. She may not say it out loud, but inside she's thinking, this man doesn't bend, this man doesn't break, this man can lead. And once she sees you like that, you've stepped into a category of attraction most men will never touch. Being unshakable doesn't just show up in romantic situations. It's in the way you handle conflict at work without making it personal. It's in the way you deal with bad news without spiraling. It's in the way you stay grounded when people around you are losing their composure. Most men try to appear strong by being loud, dominant, and aggressive, but real strength is silent. It's the kind of power that makes others feel safe just by being near you. Women are wired to be drawn to this because it speaks to something primal, security. If you can be her calm in the storm, her steady ground when the world is spinning, you create an attraction that goes deeper than looks, deeper than charm, and deeper than words. Sign 3. You lead without trying to dominate. This is where most men misunderstand what women actually want in a man. They think leadership is about barking orders, making every decision, or always having the final say. That's not leadership, that's insecurity, disguised as control. True leadership is quiet confidence. It's the way you can take charge of a situation without making it about your ego. It's the way you naturally step into the role of decision maker when there's uncertainty. Not because you want to flex power, but because you're the one who's grounded enough to steer the ship. Women notice this in the smallest moments, when you choose where to sit without hesitation, when you guide the conversation without letting it drift into awkwardness, when you plan the evening instead of asking her 100 times what she wants to do. This type of leadership makes her feel like she can relax into her feminine because she knows she's in the presence of a man who can handle things. What makes this so attractive is that most men either lean too far into passivity or too far into control. The passive man never makes a move, never takes the lead, and ends up putting all the weight on her shoulders. She might tolerate it at first, but eventually she loses respect for him because she doesn't feel like she can truly rely on him. The controlling man, on the other hand, is so focused on being in charge that he drains her freedom and makes everything a power struggle. Both of these extremes kill attraction, but the man who leads with quiet authority, who can make decisions while still making her feel considered, hits the perfect balance. That balance is rare, and rarity is attractive. She knows she can't just find that energy in any man, so she becomes drawn to you in a way that's hard to shake. The truth is, leadership in relationships isn't about telling her what to do. It's about showing her where you're going and giving her the choice to join you. You set the vision, you set the pace, and you create the structure. A highly attractive man doesn't wait for a woman to make his life exciting. His life is already exciting, and she either comes along or she doesn't. And here's the secret. This kind of leadership is intoxicating to women because it takes away the burden of control. She doesn't have to constantly steer the dynamic, wonder where things are going, or test you to see if you'll crumble under pressure. She feels free to lean back, to be spontaneous, to be feminine, because she knows you're the anchor that won't drift no matter how rough the waters get. Sign 4. You have emotional control. Nothing destroys attraction faster than emotional instability. A man who explodes when something doesn't go his way, who sulks when he doesn't get the attention he wants, or who constantly needs reassurance will always be seen as weak. Emotional control doesn't mean you never feel. It means you never let your feelings dictate your behavior in a way that damages your value. When she tries to push your buttons, when she withdraws to see how you'll react, when she throws out a passive-aggressive comment, you don't flinch. You don't rush to defend yourself. You don't give her the satisfaction of seeing you spiral. You respond calmly, with purpose, or sometimes not at all. That restraint speaks volumes. It tells her you're not just physically strong or mentally sharp, you're emotionally fortified. And that, more than anything, separates you from the crowd. Here's the thing, most men don't realize a woman's attraction to you can spike or die based on how you handle emotional challenges. If you react to every shift in her mood, if you take every test personally, you're playing her game instead of standing in your frame. Women are emotional creatures. They feel more than they think, and they will pull you into that emotional whirlwind if you allow it. The man who remains centered, no matter what she does, creates an aura of mystery and strength. She can't resist. She starts wondering, what does it take to get to him? Why doesn't he react like other men? That curiosity turns into intrigue, and intrigue turns into desire. Emotional control isn't just about peace of mind. It's one of the most powerful seduction tools you'll ever have. Sign 5. You're a man with options, and you carry yourself like it. This doesn't just mean other women are interested in you, although that certainly amplifies your value. It means your life is so rich, so full, and so purposeful that no single woman becomes the center of it. When you live this way, you radiate a certain unspoken confidence that women pick up on instantly. You're not desperate for her attention because you already have a life you love. Friends, hobbies, goals, passions, and a vision for your future. You're not afraid of losing her because losing her doesn't mean losing yourself. This is one of the rarest traits in men today, and women can feel it before you even say a word. It's in the way you take your time responding to messages. It's in the way you can go days without seeing her and still be fully engaged in your own world. It's in the way you never need to overcompensate because you know you're enough without constant validation. What makes this so powerful is that most men live in the exact opposite way. They meet a woman they're attracted to, and suddenly she becomes their entire focus. They start sacrificing their routines, neglecting their goals, and canceling on friends just to be available for her. This hyper-availability kills attraction because it signals that you have no other meaningful priorities. A highly attractive man flips that dynamic. He invites her into his world instead of rearranging his life for hers. She sees that your time is valuable, and the more valuable something is, the more people want it. You stop chasing her, and she starts chasing the feeling of being included in your world. It's a subtle shift, but it's everything. Women are wired to be drawn to men with options because it signals social proof and value. It's the same principle that makes a crowded restaurant seem more appealing than an empty one. People assume if others want it, it must be good. When a woman senses other people admire, respect, or desire you, her own attraction deepens. But here's the catch: you can't fake this. You can't pretend to be busy or act like you have options while secretly waiting for her text. She'll feel the incongruence, and it will erode her respect for you. The man who truly has options doesn't need to act. His life already reflects it. He's genuinely fulfilled without her, and that makes her want him even more. This man with options mindset also prevents you from tolerating bad behavior. When you know there are other people who would gladly take her place, you stop putting up with disrespect, flakiness, or manipulation. You're not afraid to walk away, not because you're playing a game, but because you understand your worth. Women can sense this instantly. It makes your boundaries ironclad, and boundaries are deeply attractive because they communicate strength. When she knows you won't tolerate nonsense, she's far less likely to test you with it. When you combine all 5 of these signs, self-ownership, effortless mystery, quiet leadership, emotional control, and a life full of options, you become a man who's impossible to ignore. You're not chasing validation, you're not bending to fit into her world, and you're not trying to win her over with empty gestures. Instead, you're living in a way that naturally commands respect and desire. This kind of man doesn't just attract women, he keeps them invested because she knows she can't replace him with the average guy. And the truth is, this isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about becoming the kind of man you'd respect if you were looking from the outside in. Most men will read this and think, yeah, I know all this, but they won't actually live it. They'll nod along while still rearranging their life for every woman they meet. They'll still panic when she doesn't reply right away. They'll still seek constant validation instead of building a life that makes validation irrelevant. And this is why so few men are truly attractive, not just on the surface but at the core. To embody these traits, you have to break habits that feel good in the short term but destroy you in the long term. You have to embrace discomfort, face rejection without flinching, and stay grounded when your ego wants to react. Here's the hard truth: being a highly attractive man means you will lose women. Not every woman will want a man she can't control, a man she can't easily manipulate, a man who won't center his world around her. Some will call you cold or distant or emotionally unavailable. That's fine. Those are not the women you want. The ones who truly value your energy, who respect your boundaries, who feel inspired by your presence, will stick around and invest back into you. The rest will leave, and you should be grateful they did. The irony is that the moment you stop making women your priority, they start making you theirs. It's the same in every area of life. The more you chase something, the more it runs from you. The moment you stop needing it, you attract it naturally. When you have a life that excites you, a purpose that drives you, and a self-respect that never wavers, women don't become the goal, they become the byproduct. And that's the position of true power. So if you're reading this wondering where to start with yourself. Audit your life. Are you in control of your emotions, or are you letting her moods dictate yours? Are you leading with quiet strength, or are you waiting for her to set the tone? Are you living with options, or are you acting like she's the only one you'll ever get? Every small shift in these areas compounds over time. 6 months from now, you could be an entirely different man, not because you learned seduction tricks, but because you became the kind of man women are naturally drawn to. At the end of the day, attraction isn't about looks, money, or status. Those things help, sure, but they're just surface level amplifiers. The foundation is always your frame, how you carry yourself, how you respond to challenges, and how you structure your life. Build that foundation, and you'll find that you no longer need to convince women to like you. They'll feel it, they'll sense it. And the more you live in that space, the more you'll realize the truth. Being a highly attractive man isn't about trying harder. It's about being the man who never had to try in the first place. When you truly internalize this mindset, something shifts at a fundamental level. You stop looking at interactions with women as a performance where you have to prove yourself, and you start seeing them as opportunities to reveal yourself. There's a massive difference. Men who are trying to prove themselves end up overcompensating. exaggerating their value, and seeking constant approval. Men who are revealing themselves are simply letting a woman see the reality of who they already are, a man with self-respect, grounded energy, and a vision for his life that doesn't bend for fleeting desires. This calm certainty is magnetic. She can sense that you aren't in a hurry to win her over, and that makes her lean in, because now she's chasing the experience of being around you, not just the idea of you. A man like this naturally creates emotional contrast in her life, and that's one of the hidden keys to attraction. Most men women meet are predictable. They over-text, they overshare, they overreact, but when you operate from a place of stability and mystery, you stand out without even trying. One day she's laughing with you over something light, the next she's wondering what you're doing and why she can't stop thinking about you. That emotional push and pull isn't manipulation, it's simply the natural result of you living your life without centering it on her. She feels that unpredictability as excitement, and excitement is one of the purest fuels for desire. The other thing women can't help but notice about highly attractive men is that they don't fall into the trap of instant intimacy. You're not giving away deep emotional access too soon, because you understand that real connection is built over time. Instead of trauma dumping your life story on date one or texting her all day to build a bond, you allow space for the connection to grow organically. That space creates longing. It's what makes her look forward to seeing you again. And because you're not rushing it, she starts to feel like she has to earn more of you. And people always value what they have to earn more than what's handed to them. This approach also changes how she responds when conflict inevitably arises. A man without emotional control will blow up, sulk, or beg when things get tense. But a man with true self-mastery will calmly assess the situation, decide what's acceptable, and enforce his boundaries without losing his cool. This is rare, and women feel the difference instantly. Instead of being swept into emotional chaos, she feels anchored by your stability. And stability, despite all the drama modern dating tries to glorify, is one of the most intoxicating feelings for a woman once she experiences it from a man she respects. It's the kind of presence that makes her think twice before doing anything that might risk losing you. Ultimately, being a highly attractive man isn't about adopting a fake persona or memorizing lines. It's about alignment. Your actions match your words, your self-respect matches your boundaries, your life's direction matches the energy you carry. And when all of that lines up, women can sense it before you even speak. You don't have to convince her of your value because your entire life already demonstrates it. She feels it in your pace, in your calm, in the way you refuse to be moved off center. And in a world where most men are scrambling for attention, that calm, unshakable presence is the loudest, most irresistible thing in the room.